What's going on, guys? I want to go through the seated wrestling movements. And obviously when I refer to wrestling, it's used across all grappling, right? But these are just movements that you'll find on a wrestling mat. And again, it's for mobility and solo drills that'll just help improve grappling in general. So the first one, kind of from turtle position, we're gonna learn how to sit out, okay? So one of the reasons why you're sitting out is to get your hips under your head, because kind of in wrestling, you know, and obviously fighting and jiu-jitsu, people are trying to push weight on your hands. So we're just working on, the weight's kind of on my hands, not sitting back like it should. I'm gonna step up. The weight goes on my hand and my foot, and I sit my hip right under my head. Elbows come in, head up, head's over top of my hip. Now, just for the drill, sitting out, I would bring both elbows in. For the drill, I wanna put the weight back on, come back. Now the other side, I step up, sit my hip under my head, head up. Good small ball. I try to keep my knees close to my shoulders and not get too extended. Elbow comes in, and now I'm gonna pull myself back through. Good, so I'll do just a couple, kind of see how it looks. So the weight's on my hand, step, hip under, boom. And my butt I wouldn't wanna sit and relax. My butt would barely touch the ground, and I would come back. Then the other way. Boom, stay small. I just wanna see it one time, once or twice from the side, and let you see, you know, I'm really getting my hips under my head. So my weight is pushed forward. If I could sit back, there's no need to sit out. My head's where it needs to be. So my hands would go, my weight goes forward, step up, hips under my head. Back under, one more to you, step up. Okay, so the second one on my list is sit out, circle square. So same deal, and I just add a little more detail. I want to move my hand and my foot at the same time. And I'm trying to move as a motor unit. I wouldn't like, you know, I want to bring my body, I'm strong in this square position. So when I go, I stay kind of in this square position. I'm going to sit out, and as soon as my butt hits the ground, boom. Most of the time they're going to be trying to control my waist, trying to control my upper body. So I usually I want to grab hand control. I'm going to put it in my back pocket, and then I'm going to circle my butt all the way away from them so they can't follow my hips. One time from the back. And this one can kind of be more of a starting position. I don't have to be pushing my weight forward. So starting position, step and move. Step, move, hips, hand in my back pocket. What that's referring to is they would have their hands controlling my hips. So I want to take their hands off my hips and put it behind my back. And now my hip can get away. Circle square. One time from the side. And you can see here where maybe it's the starting position. You know, if it was wrestling or grappling, we had to, and I was trying to explode out, I would explode out. Sit. Our next position we'll go through is a switch. And it's just a reversal from someone trying to take my back, having my back, controlling my back. So same kind of fundamentals happen. I step and move. Now this time I'm switching from my right hip being my top hip, my left hip being my bottom, to the opposite. I'm gonna switch all the way through and land the opposite hip, facing back. So a couple more times just to show the mechanics. Step, and I'm not sitting this way. It's not a sit out. I am switching the direction I'm sitting. All the way, boom, elbows in. One time from the side. Same deal as if I'm out, and now bottom hip under, and I'm trying to make this my bottom hip. Inside hip, elbows in, and then hips up. So if you watched our seated movement drills, this is where we can start blending drills together. So this would be a switch to an S-sit with the hip up. So I move, switch, S-sit, hip up, and then I would turn and take their back. Okay, a lot of what happens when we go to sit out, especially in wrestling, but people want to put our heads back on the mat and flatten us back out. So we have to be ready and in position to post our head as opposed to hit our face, okay? So we do this one, sit out, and we turn and post, circle. Sit out, And I'm imagining they're trying to push my weight forward. So instead of going and fighting in my face, I tuck my elbow, my head goes to the mat, good wide base, and I circle. In any of the sit-out positions, I just want to make sure that I'm keeping my heels close, and I've got the ability to, wherever they move, to keep my head over my hips, because they're going to be trying to take me to the side, pull me back, push me forward. So I really need to be able to, if they pull me back, scoot my hips back. If they go to take me to the side, I need to be able to scoot my hips under my head. Scoot my hips under my head. Crushing me forward, I need to be able to scoot to relieve that pressure. So it's really important that I'm able to move with my knees in my chest when I'm in that kind of sit out seated position. Anytime you're in this position, this turtle position, this wrestling based position, that your opponent's trying to put the weight on your hands, whether it's jiu-jitsu to choke you, whether it's wrestling to score points and to hold you down. It's for control. So we've got to learn to deal with getting weight on our hands, and one of the first ways, obviously, is a knee slide. Okay, so that's the next one in line. So I'm sitting back and my weight goes forward, and all I'm doing is it's just to fix my posture. So my butt is way behind my head. I put weight on my hands, and I'm gonna knee slide my hips all the way under my head, as far as I can go, all the way to the point where my belt buckle is facing the sky. Simple idea, so we'll just look at it from a couple of different angles. My weight goes forward, and now I'm just sliding my hips and kind of bringing my knees with me. All the way under my head, elbows in, eyes up. One time from the back, and it's kind of just to illustrate, a lot of times in grappling, you hear elbows in, but I want to go even a step further, and we're hiding our elbows, and I'll explain kind of here. So same deal, my weight goes forward, slide my hips under. Now I've always heard elbows in, and this is elbows in, but elbows aren't hidden. I want to put my elbows in, and it's kind of like I'm hiding my elbows, and you really can't see them from behind. So along with our double knee slide, we have a single knee slide, and it's a little more like a sit out, except for we're knee sliding that hip under our head so we can get height and just come up. Hand move, foot moves. This is kind of helping me create space. I'm trying to make sure I'm getting out, and now I'm going to create space and really slide my knee and my hip away. I don't want to trail this leg, so I'm going to step. My hip comes up, my head's always looking up, and I'm stepping. The single knee slide from the side, weight forward. The single knee slide, while it is a position you'll see, kind of from the all fours, kind of the turtle position, it's a way you recover legs. The single and double knee slides both. You recover for takedowns, you recover for someone that has a front headlock on me, stretching me out. So it's really used in any place that I need to recover where my butt falls behind my head. So I have to make sure to get my posture back. So it can be used in a ton of different places. Okay, so I saved the hardest for second to last, and the last one will be a stand up, and it'll get from the mat to standing. So the last one on the ground and kind of the hardest is, it'll remind you of an inversion in jiu-jitsu. So it's the wrestling version, okay? In wrestling, we're not allowed to go across our back, and obviously for jiu-jitsu competition, I probably don't want to be flat on my back any. So anytime I roll across my back, it gives my opponent opportunity to pressure on top and pin. So I want to go across my shoulders. That's where I'm probably the strongest. So the wrestling version, Swisher or Granby, and I'll show it kind of slow to a little faster. And when we're talking about just starting, we don't need the jump, but the basics. Weight goes forward, and I'm going to swing and windshield wipe both feet. And what this is, generally people are controlling over top of your hips, so I have to clear my feet out from under them. From there, my opposite hand follows where my feet went, and I go shoulder, and I go across my shoulders, boom, all the way to my base. I'm gonna show a couple different ways, a couple different angles, kind of even a little unorthodox, just to let you see. When I'm starting, I wanna keep my hips, again, everything's about posture for me, so I'm trying to get my hips, coincidentally this time, over top of my head. Any other way and I'll fall, so I really want my hips to go over my head through my rotation. So clear my feet, arm under. And if this is hard, and obviously mobility wise, I can just walk my toes on the mat the whole time. It doesn't have to be a dynamic movement. I'm working on the mobility. I want to be able to get my hips mobility, core strength, kind of the whole bundle here, right? My hips over my head, rolling across my shoulders and my neck, getting upside down. It kind of knocks all those out. Again, from another angle, clear my feet, arm under, back of my head and my neck, hips over, back to my turtle position. Okay, so the last one on the list, I'm getting from the mat to my feet. And this is kind of how I would layer it for a warm up, right? I'm doing all the on the mat stuff, and now it's about time for class to start. So let's do a couple to get on our feet. There are a million different stand-ups from this bottom position. Remember, a lot of stuff that I'll show will have a super wrestling base. I really believe that there are, the blend of wrestling and jiu-jitsu, that's what we're looking for. And as a beginner, we can cut a lot of curves with that wrestling blend. A lot of times we're held back because of wrestling. So we want to fill these gaps quickly, and we can do it in these drills. Okay, so I like this quick stand up, and it's kind of like a runaway stand up. Whatever side they're on, and obviously if they're on the center of my back, I need to kind of pick a side. But most of the time people ride on their dominant side or the side they're most comfortable. Whatever side they line up on. And right now I'm as if they're on this side. This arm, this leg, and they're attached. My elbow's attached to my knee with a rope or a chain, so it can't stay behind too long. As it goes, my knee goes, I windshield wipe. Their hands are usually around my waist, so I wanna grab one hand, two hands on their hand, and now I'm gonna push back into them. Their hands will be here, I put it in my hip pocket, and all I'm gonna do is pull this leg and this hip back and circle square. A lot of movement, but it's something that we do in beginner classes and in kids classes kind of from day one. And these will build, the next set of videos that'll be on these movements will be with a partner. And that's kind of how we'll start building. I would start with maybe 5 to each side. And again, I would pick one that maybe is really hard for you, spend a little extra time on it, and one that you like. Try to get smaller and get tighter, get more explosive with it. But give these a try and let me know how it works. I'll see you on the mats.